Bravo. That's fantastic. What was easy when you were practicing?
What was easy? Obviously, the melody was really easily.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, either hand is pretty easy by itself.
Mm-hmm.
What I did have trouble with is like there's two different sections to the melody, so so when you put both parts together, switching from the wait, translate. And right here, instead of going, I want to go play.
Those changes in the melody, where
This
those
I keep-
steps and where the skips are.
Yeah, I keep putting that one stuff.
But you didn't. Huh?
And also the in the last, just the last four measures here, when it's the finger positions change from what maybe you want to normally do. So it's 5, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4, which is here,
Very
or
good.
5, 4, 1.
Well, despite you saying you had all those troubles, you actually executed it beautifully. And the thing that you talked about last week in terms of the synchronicity with your hands, it seemed like it wasn't trouble at all. So however you're practicing, it's just fantastic. If you wanted to, as you're playing this, because I knew it would be part of your standard repertoire, you'll probably take it on the road and perform it everywhere. But as you're polishing up to that, one little thing that you can add is pedal here at the end if you want to. And pedal. Yep, the pedal on the right, which is called the double pedal. And what this symbol here in the music, which it will be very consistent throughout this book, you just put the pedal down when the line goes down and you hold it. It literally is a picture of just holding the pedal down until you lift your hands up. So do you want to just try these last four measures? Is that okay? And try adding the pedal there. And when you pedal, maybe you know this, but it's just like move your foot away from the piano. I know we talked a little bit about pedal last week when you said something you're super comfortable with. It's really just like you're tapping your toe. So if you want to keep your heel
Closer or further away?
again, you're gonna want to find what's the most comfortable thing, but your distance looks pretty good, or do you feel like you're a little far from the piano? You kind of want your arms to be fairly bent. That looks good, and then you just kind of want to move your foot exactly. And then when you put it down, just tap and toe.
So you kind of hold that foot here.
No, you can kind of keep it here, ready to go, and when you need it, it's right there. Okay, so just try those last four measures. So 2 measures without, and then 2 measures with. You can start right on this one.
Can I not start with this?
You can start wherever's comfortable for you. Good, and it's especially cool because it's right in that spot where I know the fingering seems awkward too, so we're just adding another layer of things for you to think about. It's kind of the cool from the piano, balancing all these different pieces together. Okay, it's really, really good. I want to just give you a couple ideas to think about in terms of technique, which is just going to help you with this song and any songs that you play in the future. So hopefully we'll keep playing this one just because it's in your fingers now, and it's always pleasant to play things that you keep playing. So I want let's start with your right hand, and you've got these. What are these things? high would be if it was connecting the same note. And actually, I don't think we have any of those. Oh, we do here. See that? Okay, that's fine. So it's called a slur, and basically it gives us an idea of the phrase, which basically just means if you're a singer, it's kind of how much of the phrase you'd sing on one breath, or how you kind of want to think of your melody. Make sense? Okay. So I want you to just play your right hand, and the main thing I want you to think about, before we get to phrase, is with your hand, see if you can work to keep this hand, like the palm part of your hand, up just a little bit more. Close your lid one time. This one's weird. Basically, the hand position that you want to keep as much as possible when you're playing is like this. And sometimes we think that your wrist should be high or your wrist should be low, but really your wrist is kind of even with your arm and almost even lower than that. And your hand position is really just a very natural hand position, like it is anywhere you are. So if you put that up here, like this, that's a beautiful hand position. So hard to like incorporate all of that right away to playing, but so keeping this part of your hand, higher than your fingers, such that the highest part is actually your knuckles, not your wrist, and that your hand is never below your fingers. Does that make sense? So kind of like this. Okay? So let's just try your right hand melody, and don't worry about what I was even saying about phrase slur yet. Just see if you can do exactly what you're doing melody with your fingers and everything. Just try to keep your hand a little bit more in that natural hand position. Great, keep going. And just watch your hands what you do. That's wonderful. Okay, so hand position, brilliant. Okay, so now with this idea of phrasing, you did this so beautifully last week when you were playing with Derek and he was kind of improvising underneath, because you're a natural musician, you're a singer, you know what you want a musical line to sound like. Hard to do that when you're juxtaposing with a lot of left hand and right sense chaos, right?
Yeah.
But I want you to try doing just the right hand. Think again about how you would phrase it. Melody goes up, you're going to maybe crescendo, melody goes down, whatever. Just sing the melody through your hand, and the only technique thing I want you to think about is just trying to keep your hand kind of above your fingers like that, okay? So you start, and I'm going to come in and play a little accompaniment with you, okay?
Just my right hand?
Just your right hand, and just sing.
Want me to sing?
No, with your fingers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You take a breath, right? You can take a breath with your hand too, which will actually, in some ways, kind of feel good to reset. So rather than, I'm not using the right fingering, I'm sorry. Here's kind of where you'd breathe if you were singing it, right? In some ways, just getting off the key for a second, you don't have to go anywhere far, because I know you want to stay close so you don't lose very far, because that's very important, right? But just take a tiny little breath with your hand even, okay? Let's try it. You start again. It's great. Of keeping your hand in this sort of hand position rather than all lower than your fingers. Makes sense? And in this case, with your left hand, you've kind of got this rocking thing going on, right? You're pretty much playing from pinky to thumb, right?
Yeah.
And the notes change. Obviously, you've got this different pattern here. But it's always kind of this motion, right? So just put your hand up in the air one time.
That's what I wanted to be doing, or okay.
That is exactly what you want to do. It's just like, put your hand up in the air one time, pretend you're turning a doorknob. It's the same kind of thing. It's like this, okay? So when you're playing it, you don't have to stay locked right here. One time, just exaggerate it with me. And literally just like roll your hand up.